If you're thinking of buying a condo, but want that extra bit of character, well, you, my friend, may have lofty ambitions. Hey folks, Steve Mitchell here, Realtor in Toronto. Standing here in front of Forest Hill Lofts in Midtown. And of the hundreds of thousands of condo apartments in Toronto, only a small percentage of them are loft-style units. Stick with me for a quick look here at what they are, where they are, and what they can give you, pro and con, in this Look at Lofts. Coming right up. So if you're thinking of buying or selling, or even just have some questions about the market or specific types of real estate, I'd love to help you out and put you on the path to your goals here in Toronto. Hit the like button or subscribe and leave a comment. Okay, lofts. You've seen them in movies and TV, often when set in New York. Monica's apartment in TV's Friends was a loft. Open ductwork, big industrial window, exposed brick on select walls, check, 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 and check. Glenn Close's apartment in Fatal Attraction was also a loft, one which apparently had such high rent or condo maintenance fees that it drove her to take a carving knife to Michael Douglas. I'll make sure we don't pick one of those for you. But all lofts really are apartment units created in former commercial or industrial buildings with many of the architectural, structural, mechanical features left intact and exposed. And those bring a lot of character to the place you call home, along with a generally more open and breezy feeling to the place versus traditional condos. Now, those lofts I mentioned are actually hard lofts, meaning they really were non-residential space before being converted to apartments. There are only so many of those around because there's only so many old industrial buildings. One of the earliest in Toronto was a candy factory on West Queen West. There's also Madison Lofts near Casa Loma and Forest Hill Lofts, where we started this segment, at the western end of the Beltline. But because of the popularity of the loft look, many condo developers have recreated it, at least in part, in new or remodeled residential buildings. These are called soft lofts. With an unfinished concrete ceiling and perhaps a few other features, they've created units that can give you that loft look and feel, but in a new building with more modern features and amenities, and sometimes a more prime urban location. Not a real loft, but sometimes not a real compromise either, depending on what is important to you. So hard or soft lofts, that's your choice, but what are the pros and cons of lofts overall? Well, among the advantages are that feeling of spaciousness I mentioned, but also in the case of hard lofts anyway, it's also actual spaciousness, as many of these lofts are larger floor plans than typical condos, because that's just how the old building had to be sliced up, couldn't be cut any smaller. Another loft advantage are those open floor plans, which allow you to organize your life the way you want to live it rather than how a developer thought you should live it. Lofts are also usually bright spaces because of the oversized windows and the light pours in. Sun lovers take note. There are drawbacks to loft living though. One of the big ones I find anyway is noise control. Those open floor plans and walls that don't quite reach the ceiling in many cases can work against domestic tranquility. There you are trying to sleep and somebody else wants to watch TV, the dog's barking, the kids crying, all that stuff. Not a lot of sound containment between rooms. The other drawback, at least with hard lofts, is often amenities. So if having a lot of modern stuff like pools and gyms, yoga studios, tons of elevators, all that stuff at high floors, lofts might not be for you, at least a hard loft. Last drawback is locations. They're usually a bit off the urban core because that's where industry used to be. So if you have to be down in the belly of the beast at King and Bay, you ain't going to find a hard loft unless there's a miracle. Hope you found this look at lofts useful, and I'd love to hunt for one with you. And if that's the kind of property that turns you on, believe me, I get it. I like them. I think they're real cool. But you've got to balance out some of those practicalities too. Steve Mitchell here. Reach out to me and let's make your next real estate experience remarkable. See ya.